finally made it. This feels surreal. I'm standing on a territory of a city that I haven't stepped foot in so many years. With someone I'd never guess I'd meet. It's been too long. I know you've been here before, right? Wanna tell me what your work was dealing with? You told me a little bit about your work with the winery back in Mondstadt, but I don't know much about your trips to Liyue. Ah, you have some family stationed here. Huh, I see. So, are you yourself a migrant? I mean, I haven't ever heard you talk about Liyue like it was home, or any place for that matter. Huh? You've been working with the funeral parlor? That's... that wasn't what I was expected to hear. Tell me more. Oh? Designing urns? Huh. That's really interesting, actually. Is cremation a popular thing in Liyue? Not on purpose. What does that mean? Don't laugh. That's a little frightening. Just how many pyromaniacs are there in this city? Not enough to be worried. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Still, that's a cool position to have. Designing the vessels that hold the bodies of those long past. Have thou considered designing coffins? I know smaller objects are what you lean towards, but I think you'd be good at that. Only one? Oh, your mood changed. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. Let's talk about something other than work then. Like, people. What kind of people have you met in the city? A lawyer, a chef, a writer, an exorcist, and, the director of the funeral parlor. That's an interesting cast of characters. Have you ever come into contact with the Tianquan? I hear she's the most powerful political figure in what seems like all of Tibet. Though, of course, I'm not that well-traveled. If you've met her, I wouldn't be surprised. You seem to know everyone, honestly. I mean, my lord was the one to introduce us, after all. And how rare it is that he introduces anyone to his inner circle. That was how I knew you were trustworthy. You have? Only once. Alright, that makes sense. I'm sure she's a busy woman, so I wouldn't expect her to hang around the general public all too often. If the two of you ever end up close, would you mind introducing me? I'd like to pay her my respects. I heard about the sacrifices she made to save the city not too long ago. And, well, I resonate with that level of dedication. She's a strong woman. That's enough fangirling for me. Let's get moving. I don't want to have you out after dark, so we should get going. We'll be at the end by evening if we move through the city now. Hey look, it's the funeral parlor, right? I've only passed this area one time, but I remember it pretty well. I'm not sure I could forget it if I wanted to.
Is someone remembering the first time they met me? You sure do look familiar.
Yes, yeah, I sure do remember you. You're the...
Hotel, 77 Director of the Genshin Funeral Parlor. I've been told that I'm hard to forget.
Well, it's nice to meet you again. Again. Well, what brings you so far away from the workplace?
Looking for business. I'd rather advertise than sit around at the parlor all day.
That is sure one way to look at that. Others may see things a little differently, though. So, is there anything you'd suggest we know before continuing through the rest of the city?
I've got one. Try to stick around for the festivities.
Ah, right. The captain did mention something about a festival or a practice festival.
You're right in the money. Wait. Do you know, Captain Beta? That's so cool! But of course you'd know her. Anyone that's capable of getting that dusty old man to act like he cares about something has to be well spoken. How admirable.
Does your financial advisor normally behave nonchalantly? I will say, this one has a knack for getting people to speak their minds. In fact, I don't think my lord was ever so calm before. He'd always fake it well, but you brought him some real peace. I'm glad to see you do that everywhere you go. I like you more and more every day. If anyone's to be admired, you're my top pick.
I hope I see you live out the rest of your days comfortably. You better not forget about me when the day comes.
Of course. See you around. Oh boy. You have some interesting friends, huh? I can't wait to see who you know in Mondstadt. Well, honestly though, I'm a little scared. What if no one remembers me? I mean, that wouldn't be too bad, but I guess. Deep down, the thought bothers me. You have so many people that love and care about you, and I admire that. I'd like to be someone people felt that way about too, even if for their own benefit. So part of me hopes that someone finds that kind of comfort in me. You do? That adds up. Sorry. I get caught up in my own head from time to time. But making you happy is enough for me. Still, I do hope I have some friends behind the wall. It'd be a little embarrassing if I didn't. I did grow up there after all. But if not, it doesn't matter too much anyway. Like you said, I should start focusing on myself, right? I'm gonna take that advice seriously. Matter of fact, when we get to Mondstadt, we're going to do something I've always wanted to do. What is it? Oh, you'll see. I'm not sure it'll be the fun I always wanted, or if it's going to completely backfire. But I know it's going to be a good time, since you're the one I'll be with. I trust you, and I know that if there's anyone I want to be that vulnerable around, it's you. I said don't worry about it. Honestly, I don't want to say it because, well, it's embarrassing. The last time we talked about it, you laughed at the idea. But you also told me you'd be perfectly fine with it, no matter how the night goes. So, yeah, it's that thing. Don't laugh again. It's not that funny. I know I can't handle much, but I'd like to get in touch with my roots. Then, who knows, maybe it'll turn out better than the last time. It has been years, after all. There's no telling how many psychological changes I've gone through since then. You know, you're the only person I'm not scared of sharing these things with. It's actually really refreshing. I mean, it's not like I could ever share something like that with Miss Kamisado, and my lord is far too busy to worry about some silly nonsense like that. Does that count as focusing on myself? It's still you-oriented, but it's also something that makes me feel good, so does it count? Only kind of? I figured. Well, I'm trying. That's got to count for something. I'd like to think I'm getting better at balancing it out day by day. You agree? That's... That's wonderful. Really, I do appreciate the help with this. Just consider the entire trip we're on a step in the right direction. I was really shocked when I was given the okay so quickly. It seems you weren't the only one looking forward to seeing me do something for myself. I love all of you so much. I shouldn't fail to mention how different my love for you is, though. I don't need you thinking that my feelings have changed. Whenever I think about you, I feel warm, sometimes hot. I get chills, but not the sick kind. It's also different. It's like whenever you're with me, in body or in spirit, as corny as that sounds, it's like there's this rush. I feel happy, but sometimes there's this longing that won't go away no matter how close we are. When I talked with the captain about it, she told me it was a good sign, but also that means I need to be careful. She said there's a fine line between love and infatuation, and that I should be careful not to cross it. And that idolizing you just because I need someone to look up to won't take the relationship anywhere positive. I am absolutely certain the love I have for you is real. I wouldn't care so much to ensure you're happy with me otherwise. But still, the other things she said... She's right. I do look up to you almost to a frightening degree. I can't help it. Everything about you is admirable, but that's what makes it dangerous. I would be wrong to say that there isn't some level of infatuation at play here. There will always be when it comes to romantic feelings, but I don't want to put you on some pedestal and build up unrealistic expectations of you. How did we even get to this? Don't worry too much about any of that. I went on a tangent. I'm sure there won't be any problems. After all, I know you pretty well, right? Why the look? I promise I'm not insinuating that I don't love you as much as I do say. Oh gosh, did I mess up? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel like... Oh, it's something else? Would you like to talk about it? I'm here for you, I promise. No. Well, that's perfectly okay. I won't pry for any information you aren't ready to give. But do know that I'll always be willing to listen to any and all of your concerns. Now, let's get to the hotel, yeah? Don't want to miss our check-in time. I'll treat you to a nice meal when we get there. Come on.